says in our series by the lake. Another beautiful day here in sunny Arizona. I hope the weather is nice where you are. If you can, take your practice outside. It's amazing. It really changes everything to be in tune with nature and to feel the air and hear the birds and have the earth underneath you. Well, wherever you are, make the practice your own. You don't need much today. We're going to be working on the floor with some stretches. If you have a mat or a blanket, towel, anything underneath you or a soft surface, you could probably even do most of this from your bed if you need to. So I'm going to invite you to start in the child's pose. So we're going to come to the hands and knees if you don't know this position. If you know it and you're there, stay there. If you're unsure of this position, I'm going to invite you to a simpler version of it. So take the knees as wide as your mat, maybe a little wider. Let the feet and the toes touch behind you. We're going to lower down onto the forearms and then just relax your head onto your hands. This is making some space for your belly. If you want to take it deeper, you would let the hips sit back on your heels and extend the arms out in front of you. So you won't be able to hear me, so just watch. Level 1, supported on the forearms, head resting on the hands. Or level 2, arms reached out in front of you, hips sitting back to the heels. Either way, you're breathing deeply. Let's walk the hands over to one side, stretching into the side body. So I walked my hands to the left. I'm feeling that all up along the right side. Just notice where you're feeling it. If you work out, and you may be feeling it in some areas you've recently used in your workout. If you're new to this, you may be feeling it in some areas you haven't used much or some areas that have gotten tight, painful, or inflamed. Let's walk the hands over to the other side, whatever that might look like for you. And notice how it feels on this side. Is it different? Is it the same? Do you know why? There's no right or wrong answers. It just helps you get in tune with your body. Breathing through the stretch and anywhere you may be feeling it. Walk those hands back to center. And just roll yourself belly down on your mat. From here, we're going to make an X with the body. So separate the legs, separate the arms. Now, don't mind what my head is doing. I want your head to stay aligned with your spine. So your neck and your head are always a part of your spine. So we're going to take opposite arm, opposite leg, inhale, and lift them up off the earth. It doesn't have to be up real far. If that's hard, just lift the arm or just lift the leg. You don't have to do both. Go ahead and relax side one. We're going to prepare for the other side, whatever that means to you. Just an arm, just a leg, or opposite arm and leg. Lift up, exhale, extend, and hold the stretch. Really strengthening our back body. We don't always do a lot of moves that work on the back body, so you have to get intentional about that, especially if you sit a lot. We get pulled forward. We need to remember to stretch back. Go ahead and release. Let's take a moment here. We're going to keep our legs open in this position and point the toes out to the sides, heels facing in. We're going to come into a crocodile. So elbows come under the shoulders. Hands can be doing just about anything that feels right for you. And now we want to avoid this, where our ears and shoulders come together, shoulders push down and back. Lift the heart, extend the neck and head. And I want you to really relax everything from the navel down. Hips, buttocks, legs, feet, everything's really soft behind you. Everything from your navel up is staying active. So we're really pushing the arms down, we're rolling the shoulders back, we're lifting, we're breathing as best we can. Again, we're engaging the back body, hoping to open up the front. So the actual opposite is slumping forward. Very gentle back bend, heart opening. Sometimes with these moves you may feel a flood of emotion. It's not unusual. Just let it happen. It could be happy feelings, sad feelings, complex feelings. We often feel more than one thing at a time. So don't become attached to it. Let's go ahead and lower down one more time. From here, we're going to lift up to hands and knees. So when you're ready, and in any way that works for you, you can move yourself back to a hand and knee position. And I'm going to invite you to extend that right leg out to the side. Toes facing forward, foot on the floor if you're able. Just going to hold this stretch as we breathe, opening up into that inner thigh. There's a lot of complex things going on in your joint and your knees and your hip. So we don't want to rush anything here. Very simple. Now let's just start flowing the hips forward and backwards. So allowing some simple movements to come in. And we're going to take that right foot and extend it back behind us. So stop the hip movement. Just take that right foot back behind you. Toes curl under. We're pushing our weight back in through the heel, creating a calf stretch. Tight calves can be a big indicator or can be a big contributor to back pain. So make sure we stretch those calves. There's lots of ways to do it. This is just an easy one while we're here. So we're going to release that right leg back into child's pose for a breath or two. Lifting back up. We're ready for those stretches on side two. So we're extending the left leg out. Pardon me while I move my prop. Left leg out to the side. Toes facing forward. Foot on the floor. Being very gentle here. Just take a few breaths when you get into position before you start any movement. So hold that static stretch and then slowly shift the hips front and back. Only if it feels right. I want you to do what feels good for your body. So I'm just giving you different ideas, different ways to approach the stretch. And like I said on side one, we're not forcing anything, just easing into the movements. We're going to do some deeper stretches. So just be patient with me as I loosen you up. We're going to hold that movement from the hips. And we're going to take that left leg back behind you into our calf stretch. Toes curled under. Push the weight into the heel. Now there's no right or wrong position for that foot. You might want to angle it over to one side or the other just to change the way that stretches. You may want to go straight back behind you. If you find a really effective stretch, by all means stay there. If you're not feeling a stretch, then I would invite you to play around with your positioning. You may just need a small little tweak to hit the muscles just the way they need it. Or it could be there's just a little imbalance in your body and one side is not as tight as the other. And that's okay too. Let's go ahead and release off of this side. One more time, back to child's pose. Lifting back up to hands and knees. We're going to do a cat and cow stretch before we change position. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. If you remember, head and tailbone point up as the belly sways down. The reverse of that, head and tailbone go down as the spine rolls up like an angry cat. So flow back and forth between these two. Warming up the spine, warming up the body. After this, we're going to change positions. And then we're going to do some bigger stretches, but still here on the floor. One more time. Now we're going to change positions so we are belly side up. I may be off my mat because I want to angle so that you can hear me on the microphone. Feel free to adjust yourself. Take your time moving. When you're ready, roll down. Once you get there, take some breaths. Just let everything flow and move and adjust. I've got my knees bent. You don't need to. We're going to move into a bridge position next. So again, I remind you, my head is turned so you can hear me, but please keep your head and neck in position with your spine for safety. So we're adjusting the feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. Pull those heels in towards the glutes. Today I'll leave it up to you how close or far you want them to be, whatever feels comfortable or normal. We're going to push our weight down into the heels, into the shoulders while we lift the hips. So start down at the tailbone as you start to lift from the tailbone up, rolling the spine one vertebra at a time, lifting up off the earth, using that strength in your legs. Feeling that power in the back body. We're focusing a lot on the back body today. So if you're sore tomorrow, just keep that in mind. We may have done some things and worked some muscles you don't normally get. We're going to go ahead and lower down. Take a big breath in the middle, and we're going to repeat that. So when you're ready, change positions if you like. Move the feet, change the arms. Maybe your arms were down at your side, and this time you want them straight out from the shoulders. Find your breath, and when you're ready, we're going to inhale and lift. Exhale and hold. Hold the stretch, but keep your breath moving. Nice job. Feel that back body working. This is our last power move for the back of the body. Everything else will be gentler. So bear with me. One more breath if you can. Go ahead and lower. I want you to walk the feet together. We're going to let the knees drop open. So we're in a butterfly position. Soles of the feet come together. Again, feel free to change the legs. The heels can be up in towards the groin, or they may be out further away. Just make it comfortable for the knees and for the hips. We're allowing gravity to be our friend here, working to open up the hips, get into our inner hips a little deeper. Feel that breath flowing. Now, while we're letting gravity take care of our lower body, let's include some upper body stretches. So let's reach the hands up to the sky. Go ahead and wiggle those fingers. No reason we can't multitask while we're here. You don't really have to think about the lower body. Gravity and the weight of your legs is just doing the stretch for you. Maybe you want to wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists around in one direction, rolling around the other way. Wiggling things around. This could really help with carpal tunnel symptoms. They've been trying to give me that surgery for 20, 30 years, and no, thank you. I will just keep my stretches, and I am surgery free. Stretching does wonders for the little parts of your bodies and for the big parts. So we're gonna just keep the legs in this position for a breath or two. We're gonna bring our arm stretches to an end. So if there's any one thing you wanted to do yet, or if you need to balance out on each side, go ahead and wrap that up. Releasing the arms when you're ready. From here, if your legs are still in butterfly, I want you to straighten the right leg and keep the left leg in that half butterfly position. We're going to turn this into a twist. So I want you to bring the arms out from the side so you're almost making a T with your body shape. We're going to take that left knee and let it lift up to the sky. It's going to come over the right leg to the floor on the right side. And you're going to roll over onto that right hip. Now your leg may reach the floor. You may need a blanket or pillow here to help prop it up. And there's two ways you can approach this stretch. One is to just let the rotation happen as much as it needs to till your knee hits the floor. And then work to reopen the shoulders. That left shoulder may or may not be reaching the ground. That's approach one. Approach two would be keep those shoulders anchored and just let the twist happen as it can. And maybe your knee doesn't get all the way over. Maybe you can do both, and that's great if you can. But if not, just know you're normal. In time and with practice, your body will open up and create that space. So choose your pose today, whether you're keeping the shoulders anchored or the leg anchored, or if you're able to do both. You may want to turn your head and look over at the left fingers so that you're getting that stretch in your cervical spine as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn mine as I continue to breathe. One more breath here. Make it your biggest one. And then let everything soften as you roll back to neutral. There's no right or wrong here. We're just going to recenter. Just take a moment, deep breath. We created a lot of compression during the twist, so you don't want to twist right away to the other side. When you're more advanced and you know your body, it's okay to move more quickly. But as you're learning, just pace yourself. So we're going to do that twist on the other side. This time our left leg is straight and our right knee is dropped open in that half butterfly position. So our legs are in the tree position as if we were balancing. Our arms come straight out from the shoulders like the T position. And again, we're going to prepare for the twist with the right knee flowing up over the left leg as we roll onto that left hip, letting the right knee drop over to the left side. Remember, we have two options here. Shoulders stay anchored and the leg may float, or let the knee anchor and then readjust that shoulder back down. If both can be grounded, fabulous. If not, that's okay too. And even if you can get the knee and the shoulder grounded, you don't have to get there immediately. Let the breath flow and take you there and sink you into the stretch little by little. You may have your head turned to the right to add that stretch into your cervical spine. And you've probably heard me say it before, and you'll probably hear me say it again. Stretching is a great way to end any type of activity you've done. Whether you're playing sports or going for a hike, walking, running, golfing, working out with weights, any of those things, a twist is going to help flush toxins out of your body, which is going to strengthen your immunity. It's also going to realign your spine physically, and it's going to realign you energetically. So one more nice big breath as we bring everything back to balance. let everything soften as you roll back into the center. Taking a moment to relax here. We'll get ready to close out our session for today with a few final quiet moments. Eyes opened or closed, whatever feels good for you. You may want to turn the palms up. And just think about receiving whatever it is you need in your life. It could be tangible. Maybe you need a car or a new chair or a new pair of shoes. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe you need strength or joy, empoweredness or happiness. Maybe it's even more abstract than that. Maybe it's spiritual. Whatever it is, take a few moments to focus on it with some positive intentions. Be open to receive. I've learned we don't often receive from the sources we expect, so try to stay neutral. Try to stay open to all ideas that may bring you your wishes. You don't need to force your breathing or change anything, just let it happen. Just allow yourself to marinate in these abundant thoughts and know that your thoughts will attract that same type of energy to you. So be careful with your thoughts, just like you're careful with your actions. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. Drift off to sleep or enjoy a few final moments. There's absolutely no hurry. Nothing to see, nothing to say. You're working on your own time. But I appreciate you coming. Enjoy you being here. Thank you for following. Remember to subscribe and turn on that bell so you get the notifications when the next video drops. And go in peace. Namaste.